Can you defeat these ninjas? Sure I can. Yeah, I'm just gonna delete my channel now. Hi you silly gooses, and welcome to my review of Flash of the Blade X, a ninja-themed boomer shooter from the studio of DOSMan Games. Set in feudal Japan, Flash of the Blade X puts you in the shoes of an unnamed ninja, set on seeking revenge against his clan who had betrayed him. As you journey through the beautifully made levels and carve your way through that backstabbing clan of yours, you will have the opportunity to use quite a few theme-appropriate weapons, as well as one weapon that is far out of its time, should you find it. Let's take a moment and talk about the weapons of Flash of the Blade X. In total, there are 7 weapons for you to add to your armory. 2 of those weapons are quite well hidden, so you will have to do your best to explore the levels thoroughly. Playing through Flash X, the weapons that I found myself using more often than not were the katana, the kusarigama, and the shuriken. Using the katana was an incredibly satisfying experience all the way through. That is thanks mostly to the incredible sound design of the weapon. The metallic slicing sound really immersed me into the combat, and to be honest, I think I became so immersed that I began to believe that I was actually a ninja. And that is how you use a sword. Thank you for coming to Rev Plays Games Sword Mastery TED Talk. You die as you live with the flash of the blade. What? He used to be a ninja, but then he took a shuriken to the knee. In the same vein as the katana, the kusarigama is another period-accurate melee weapon that was a lot of fun to use. It had quite the range on it, allowing me to take out enemies before they were close enough to even use their swords. Giving the NPCs the old razzle-dazzle and bonking them over the head with the ball that is attached to the weapon was pretty funny, and led to some interesting commentary from yours truly. Shredder, back away. I'll hit you with my ball. See? Told you. You're getting the ball. Now, I specifically mentioned the shuriken, but all of the ranged weapons felt pretty balanced and fun to use. The shurikens, in my opinion, are functionally the shotgun weapon in the game. When you throw a shuriken, you are at the mercy of the spread. Sometimes your character will throw the shurikens and they will separate faster than Kenneth Copeland separates his followers from their money.
No, I do not. And don't you ever say I did.
Geez, calm down, patron saint of tax exemptions. It's a joke. Other times, the spread of the shurikens are as tight as the grip Kenneth Copeland has on his pearls while flying coach. Either way, feel free to use the shurikens to your heart's content, as spread throughout all of the levels are chests full of ammo. There are also a lot of barrels full of health-restoring apples, and the logistics of how our character eats those apples so fast was on my mind for a significant portion of the playthrough. Yeah, there was this ninja that was coming out for revenge, and the entire time we'd hit him, he would just scarf down more apples. Yeah, it was a horrifying sight because he didn't even chew them. He just shoved the apples down his throat and healed. Speaking of the levels, apples and all, I was thoroughly impressed with the design of the levels and the artwork for the textures. From the scenic waterfalls to the trees. Okay, I couldn't help but think about the early 2000s Heinz ketchup fiasco with the purple ketchup, and I talked about that a lot while I was playing through Flash X as well. Look, it's them early 2000s ketchup trees. You know what ketchup I'm talking about. I'm talking about the ketchup that they thought was gonna be cool by turning it purple and different colors. It was bad. It was a terrible idea. There were a couple more things that stood out to me about the level design in Flash X. Some of the levels included vast swaths of bamboo and tall plants. This vegetation did exceptionally well at hiding the copious amounts of enemies that DOSMan Games has placed on each level. To be honest, Flash of the Blade X doesn't market itself as a horror game, but I managed to scare myself a couple of times. Once by letting my guard down while in the middle of the plant life. Oh, no, I've come too far to die in bamboo. And another time by being too thorough in my exploration. I have become an expert in the DOSMan secret areas. That sounds weird. That NPC, for those that were wondering, was the original boss from DOSMan Games' first iteration of Flash of the Blade, which you can still play on itch.io. Flash of the Blade X, as DOSMan says, has undergone a from-the-ground-up remake, with a lot of the game art in Flash X being done by Richie, who was also responsible for the art in DOSMan Games' most recently developed title, Scarab. While many of the levels are brand new, it was the little homage moments like this that were really cool to me. DOSMan also informed me that there is a secret level in Flash of the Blade X that is essentially a new level of the original, complete with a secret weapon that also pays tribute to Flash of the Blade X's predecessor. Of all the things that are homages to the original, the enemy NPCs in Flash of the Blade are almost completely new, minus that one guy. However, before we talk about the NPCs, if you are enjoying the video, would you hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel? My hope is to make it to 250 subscribers, which is a common requirement for early review copies from developers. That also means that you will get to see reviews for new games much sooner. Also, check the description for an invite to the Rev Plays Games channel Discord. Now, where was I? Fred Richie's iconic pixel art style is immediately recognizable, and the variety of NPCs attacking you at any point adds a lot of life to the levels. The kills themselves are brutal, as one would expect when you are cutting your way through your opposition, and if you ask me, all of the enemies had their own personality. I mean, just look at these guys. The lizard people, oh, they're politicians. Oh, they're dead inside too, just like the politicians. Oh, and the lead singer of Secondhand Serenade. However, I will say, and this is my biggest criticism of the enemy NPCs, they make for terrible therapists. I just need to talk about it, okay? It was very traumatic, and I don't know what to do about it. I think I'm gonna lose sleep over it. And I don't know if you're actually licensed for therapy or not. I would really appreciate it if you would let me talk to you. I was trying to understand what just happened to me. Listen to me and stop trying to stab me. I think that you're a jerk. And because you're a jerk, you're getting an arrow to the knee. And his head falls off. Now, hostile NPCs weren't the only characters in the game though, as all throughout the levels were beautiful women who would kindly greet you if you got close enough. Of course, I had to take a moment and shoot my shot. All right, Rev, put on the Reverend Riz and let's go. Hi. Well, that was embarrassing. Hey, look, a distraction. This music gives me the tinglies. Shout out to Brazen Skull for that menu music. Overall, I had a really fun time playing through Flash of the Blade X. And in this moment, I am excited to share with you that this game is Ninja Silly Goose Good. The weapons, the artwork, and the homages to the original game were definitely standouts for me, and were certainly what earned that totally official ranking. If you would like to play Flash of the Blade X, you can find it right now on Steam, and a link to the Steam page will be in the description. If you enjoyed the video, consider hitting that like button. And if you want to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button. As always, remember that you are loved. And until next time, see ya, silly gooses. Do you have my key? Do you have my key? Let me smell your breath. You know what I love? I just love walking through nature like this and slicing into my enemies and getting revenge and shoving apples down my face. That is essentially, oh my goodness.